Hey everybody, welcome to another comic book review. In this video, I'll be talking about the fourth and final omnibus in Mike Mignola's Hellboy series. This one is called Hellboy in Hell. And judging by the title of this one can assume that it's about Hellboy and his adventures in Hell. So, in the previous volume, The Wild Hunt, Hellboy gets killed. He dies, and he goes to hell. His heart was captured by one of the villains that he defeated in the previous volume. So this entire volume is him in hell, and he sees a lot of the people that he's beaten over the years, and he kind of has to come closer and closer to accepting his fate. And kind of accepting the fact that he was born out of hell. And you get to see kind of how he deals with that. Now, I will say right off the bat, there are lots of elements in this volume that really worked for me. There are elements that I thought were very cool. Specifically getting to see him fight a lot of the foes that he already defeated in previous volumes, and some of the short stories, getting little callbacks to those. Very, very cool stuff. My one flaw with this book is, and maybe it's a me thing, but I didn't get it, a lot of it. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that there are some strange choices made narratively, like in terms of the story, that didn't exactly entirely work for me. Particularly the ending. I found the final couple pages, I found the ending to be a very odd choice. Do I think it's bad? Not necessarily, but I think it's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I think it might be one of those things that's not really supposed to. Because Mike Mignola says in the afterword of this book that he had planned this ending all along, and he's not going to explain what a certain element of something that happens at the end. He doesn't want to explain any of that. So, I mean, yeah, that's cool, but it kind of went over my head a little bit. Maybe a future reread will help me with that. Maybe further exploring some of the spin-offs in the Hellboy universe will help me with that as well. Overall, I thought this was fine. It's far from my favorite volume in the Hellboy series, which is kind of a shame considering that it's the very last one. Although the art in here is arguably the best in the entire series. Mike Mignola is really at the peak of his artistic ability. I think the coloring in here is beautiful as always, and the very dark inks in here are wonderful. His signature style is just on full blast in this volume, and it's really something to behold visually speaking. I think it's beautiful to look at. But what kind of held this volume back from being what I wanted it to be was just the fact that I didn't think the story was really there as much as I wanted it to be. There were some cool elements. I thought all the callbacks to previous adventures in Hellboy's career were very cool, but it just felt like something was missing for me. I know a lot of people really, really loved this particular volume. I know it's very highly acclaimed. I just didn't click with it as much as other people did. And not exactly sure why that is, but it didn't quite work for me as much as it did for some other people. And also, compared with some of the other volumes in this series, I still prefer volume 3 of the omnibuses in the Hellboy series, The Wild Hunt. Um, I think that one is still my favorite. This one, I mean, it's cool, but it's sort of a lackluster conclusion, in my opinion. Um, don't let that deter you from reading it. If you're gonna read Hellboy, it would make sense to read this. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just didn't quite get it. Um, and I think on future rereads, maybe that'll improve. But for now, it's a bit too uh, metaphorical for my liking, which is kind of odd for me to say because normally I like weird like metaphors and strange choices in books and movies and stuff of that nature. I normally love all that kind of stuff, but this just didn't quite click for me. Especially considering the rest of Hellboy, it didn't. I don't know, something about it just didn't mesh like the rest of the series did. Um, and there were other moments in the like previous volumes that I also thought were um, just fine, I guess. Um, it's not my favorite comic series, but I totally see why people love it as much as they do. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the final omnibus of Mike Mignola's Hellboy, Hellboy in Hell. And thank you as always for watching. Look forward to more videos in the future and have a great night.